currently on our way to Guadaloupe, the island south of here, and the island which we would now forever refer to as Windy Whoop, because, well, it was really quite windy there.
That's crazy!
We had thoroughly enjoyed soaking in Antigua, both above and below the water, but some cheaper food and rainforest hikes called, and so we picked up anchor back in Jolly Harbour this morning and hit the Caribbean Sea. We had about 20 knots on our beam with 1.8 metre swell from the east, aka dreamy conditions to head to a new island. For those who have joined our story here, hi, we're Becca and Zach. We bought our boat Tay-Lee last March after saving for years, and after 6 months of figuring it all out in the UK, we ditched the lines and really started the adventure. So come along with us for the highs, the lows, and absolutely everything in between. Because we're not just doing it, we're bloody doing it. We are flying along. We've just put another reef in the main, and we've got one reef in the Genoa and one reef in the mizzen, but we are hooning along. Today is a day on the lean, but it's honestly just the most amazing sail today. Like, honestly, just incredible sailing. Having so much fun. Everything is so salty. My hair is like just a salt ball right now. But it's really weird. We just got the flag out and it's a French flag. It's so strange. I'm just getting a new camera battery, but my phone is in European roaming. So I got a message saying, hello, as you were in one of our European roaming destinations, everything is free. Lovely. Because crazy enough, I still have a UK phone plan. I don't want to lose my number. I think we got the Ventura effect now. We got some bigger mountains again. 6 knots with fully reefed everything. 7 knots. Really? We've actually flown here. Our average speed has been 6.5 knots, but our max speed was 9.9 upwind into waves. Can we just appreciate that? Crazy.
We had arrived in Dehe, a small town on the northwest side of Guadaloupe, known for its colourful houses and many cats. We were so excited to discover the charm of the French Caribbean for the first time. I bet this was off that.
Oh yeah, that's so funny.
I don't think they work anymore.
Oh, I think so, Zach. We're in Guadaloupe and we arrived yesterday afternoon, and there's a lot of rainforests on Guadaloupe. Obviously rainforests require rain, and it has rained all day today. And it's really warm, so it's like that muggy, lovely, sweaty temperature. And we don't have any of those cool scoopy scoops, not sure what they're called. Scoops will do for now, which allow ventilation, so boat is sticky. Well, we've got this open, but the wind's coming from there, so it doesn't really do much, but that's okay. Anyway, it's about 3 o'clock PM. Oh, I didn't show you yesterday. Yesterday I woke up and my phone, oh, I've got a photo of it actually on the iPod. My telling bone looks like this. There's lines all across it, and it's pretty much a goner. So, I have no phone, we have no internet, We're very cut off from the world, which is lovely, except when you have some things to do. So in a sec we're going to go into town and try and get some Wi-Fi from somewhere. Our friends Anna and Stig on the Skeg-Hung have just turned up in the rain, so when it stops a little bit we'll pop past their boat and say hi, maybe invite them over for some board games tonight. We love a board game on Tay-Lee. And yeah, Zach's just made a mid-afternoon snack, rice noodles and satay, lovely. And yeah, that's about it. Pretty windy.
So we think there's a boat here which is like an Airbnb, because they seem nice enough, but they seem like they don't really know too much about what they're doing. If something happens, or I don't know if they're mooring, which things do happen to moorings, we trust our anchor way more than a mooring. I can't imagine they know what to do about turning it on an engine or anything like that.
They're looking at us a lot. Like, do you think they need help?
No, I think they're alright.
Anchor is not budging at all. So windy. Like at least 35 knots. It's been consistent. Like, it just hasn't dipped. But it's so windy. I know we'll be alright. It's a first for everything, but yeah. Super windy. This is the sound of it.
This morning I'm off to go and get some pastries. We didn't sleep that well last night because we had about 35 knots. We saw one boat drag last night, which is a little bit crazy, and Becca woke up and just saw it drifting past us, but luckily the people were already up and sorting it all out. So I'm gonna go and grab a few bits to eat for this morning for like a nice French breakfast. I'm gonna drop some by Anna and Stig's, our friends on Anchor behind us. Just say thank you for giving us their internet yesterday, which is really, really nice, because we've been struggling to figure out internet here because signal's rubbish. None of our ones are working at the moment, but we've just ordered a really good solution for it. Well, you guys can probably guess what it is.
Oh, bless Zach, he's such a hero. He's teaching them how to use their outboard.
Yeah, they're renting it.
Yeah, they are. What, is an Airbnb?
No, they just said renting. I don't think it's an Airbnb, but it's something along those lines, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's quite tough for like someone who's renting that and not giving them an outboard which is like immaculately working.
Yeah, and also not looking at the weather before they rent it. They must have been a bit scared last night.
It's a powerful outboard though. It's 18.
Wow. Should we ask them to swap?
Yeah, I think this is fixed.
Nice. Cool.
There was a rubber gasket in here.
Is it like rocked up or something?
Yeah, it had. I don't know how. I don't know if it's actually fixed, but I'm fairly sure it was. I thought I fixed it the first time, but
yeah, that looks way better.
yeah, there we go.
Nice one. You know when it's a windy night because anchor balls start appearing on boats. And the boat behind us put an anchor ball up last night, like middle of the night, and I was thinking, why has he done that? Maybe it's if he drifts out to sea, they'll know he's meant to be on anchor. And then I was like, surely not. And Zach said, it's all insurance. It's literally for insurance sake. So yeah, that made me realise it was a really windy night and people were nervous. It's nice to know our anchor's so solid and our chain, and this just makes me so happy that we bought the big anchor. Sure, the weather forecast can say 25 knots. That's just not the case here. We're in a Venturi effect.
We have mentioned a bit about the Venturi effect, but as it was so prevalent here in Guadaloupe, we thought we would briefly explain what it was and why it can affect us living on a boat. Essentially, when wind passes through a confined space, such as between two mountains, the pressure decreases and the wind speed increases. Just as if you had put your thumb over the end of a hose. The pressure increases over the small surface area, while the narrow flow then creates a vacuum in the water. The water energy increases, which ends up in a pressure decrease. The same goes for the wind. So when we anchor somewhere, we don't just look at the weather forecast, the depth, spinning area and seabed type, but also what the landscape above the sea looks like for that exact reason.
We could easily have 40-45 knots on anchor here. You just can't predict it. I'm so pleased we got our bloody massive anchor. It's the off-road crap.
Rubbish job, Liz, come on. There we go.
I'm Essex.
Oh, but you've got a boat from Swansea.
I bought it like that.
Nice. Yeah, we met in Swansea.
Oh yeah?
We weren't heading far today.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Just 7 nautical miles south to Plage Malinger, but that's if there's any wind. It's kind of funny because the bay we were just anchored in was a bit similar to the Canary Islands, where, because it's a very mountainous island, where the bays are kind of carved into the island, it funnels air down through the mountains and creates the kind of Venturi effect. So the anchorage was really windy. Obviously we get out and there's no wind because we're sheltered now, actually sheltered by the island. So we've got, I don't know, like 4 knots maybe. We've moved the Genoa car forward so we don't spill the top of the sail that much and hopefully savour all we can. But yeah, we're still got the motor on for now. Hopefully the wind picks up a little bit. We're trying to get pretty into sail trim and how trimming the sails affects the boat, and I was quite interested the other day to read something about the twist in the sail, in the mainsail. The more twist, the more roll there is in the boat. I might be wrong, I'm pretty sure that's what I read. But if any of you have any book recommendations for a really good sail trim book, I'd love to read it, because it's something we've been kind of figuring out by trial and error. But yeah, I'd love to read all about it and actually get it spot on. Obviously it's very boat specific, but yeah, super interested in how to fine-tune sails to get the most out of them. So yeah, if you have any recommendations, please leave them though, because I'd love to get my head stuck into a good book about sail trim. Said no one ever.
So we've just started hearing a ticking in the engine and have had a little check out of it already, so it's nothing urgent, so that's why I'm not rushing to fix it. But I don't know if you can hear that on the mic at all. Sounds like something's loose. And what's happened is,
this is salt water here that goes through and then out of the engine, and this bracket here has snapped clean off. Not really important, but this is shaking a lot more than it should be, so all I'm going to do is this bit here, I'm going to cable tie onto here just to stop it moving so much. That should do until we get to a better place, and then we can figure out how to fix this bracket.
a bodge job on the bracket later, and we were settling into the new anchorage in Plage Malinger. We had picked to come here as it was the closest spot you can anchor to Pigeon Islands, 2 tiny islets laying about 1 kilometre from Tay-Lee. We grabbed our friends Reese and Nee from Zora and headed straight there.
Whoa, it's such good viz.
Being a protected area and part of the Guadaloupe National Park since 2009, we are blown away by their unique concentration of marine life. Not only are the islets famous for their elkhorn and staghorn corals, but also their colourful reef species such as angelfish, parrotfish and butterflyfish. We were in heaven.
So we are just getting some work done on board, and randomly there's 30 knots of wind. To be fair, there is rain coming now, but predicted wind is maybe, it's like 12 knots. That sounds higher than 30 actually. That could be 30. That is so windy. Where did that even come from? It's just a squall.
Must be.
Look at the waves crashing over there. I'm so glad we moved, Zach. We moved this morning because we were pretty close to this boat here. When I say pretty close, how close were we to this boat here?
Like 3 meters.
Yeah, we were pretty close, and we woke up a few times last night and we thought, you know what, we should move. Yeah, it's a windy day.
It's 30 knots. It's so windy, I'm actually not getting at all wet here.
Really?
Yeah. That's crazy!
Wow. If it wasn't for Desheries the other day, I'd be nervous, and I'm just not anymore. But it's been constant 30 for hours. Wow. And we never have it that it has really yanked us, but that, I guess we were slightly over the anchor and the gust hit and we just snatched back. That's why you needed snubbers. Wow. We should really put some of the black coil things on the snubbers.
Yeah, we should.
We've got them in the lazarette, just not doing anything. Bloody windy, Zach. It's now 8:15. The gusts are kind of from all angles, easily 35 knots. Zach has gone to let out more chain because we're reading now about we're only in 4 meters of water, and in shallow waters there's less centenary effect, which is basically where the chain lays on the floor and creates more drag basically. That's not all the details, but my mind's all skewed right now, but yeah, he's just gone to let out more, basically. He's gone to let out more chain, so we've got a bit of scope. But we had a little India anchorage in Desheries, which was north from here, and that was like 30 all night, and this is like far more. And it will die completely and then just from a different angle, so there's a lot more risk of dragging. Yeah, it'll be fine, I know it'll be fine. Yeah, there's a monohull that's moving, and there's a cat that's moving, and I don't know why they're moving. Have you done it?
No.
Why?
Wait for it to calm down more. I'm just going to rip the windlass off if I do it now.
Really?
I can't do it at the moment.
Are the stubbers still on tight?
Yeah. Oh no, touch the stubbers, yeah.
Is there just too much force on the chain then?
Yeah. We just rip it off with a gust of like 35 that it's been going.
I don't know what time it is. But it's mega windy out there. You can hear the snubbers creeping. Yeah, it's really windy, but we went out when it died down. And we let out more chain, so we've got over 40 meters out, and we're in 4 meters, so I mean, we got tons out. Oh, pretty much 5 meters. But because, yeah, it's shallower, we wanted to get more out, and we did, so I'm feeling really happy. And we've got our chain around the cleat just as a fail-safe for our snubbers. Yeah, we're actually sleeping okay, considering. But like, if I put the camera out, you get the point. It's pretty bloody windy out there. Windier than before. The windiest we've ever had, actually. Yeah, it looks like everyone's holding well though, which is nice, and we're a really good distance from everyone, so yeah, it's really nice. Bloody hell. I'm just outside having some breakfast. We held really well, and I'm happy we put out the extra chain. We couldn't let out more until I think it was about maybe 1 or 2 in the morning, because basically the wind was so strong, it was pulling on our snubbers so much that we knew that if we undid the snubbers and let it on the windlass, it could just rip the windlass off. That's the reason we have the snubbers. Those that don't know, the snubbers are the ropes that you attach to the anchor chain, so it takes the pressure off the chain, so the chain's slack going over the windlass roller. After we let out more chain, we did sleep, and I still woke up a few times when it really picked up. The thing is, I was kind of kicking myself yesterday about feeling nervous in those kind of winds. I was like, why am I feeling nervous? I know our anchor's too big for our boat, I know our chain's brand new and great, I know the boat's fine, like why am I nervous? I know we've done everything by the book and I couldn't figure it out, and I felt a bit of a, I don't know, I just felt a bit crappy because I was like, I don't know what, I'm nervous. And then I realised something. I was like, we haven't been in this before, you know? We haven't ever anchored in 35 plus knots. The other day it was really windy, but it was 30 knots. So for every time we do something for the first time, I think it's supernatural to feel nervous. And then you build the confidence in your equipment, and you know, you learn more about it and it dispels the fear. But until you kind of go through that, I think fear is okay when it's felt for the first, when you're doing something for the first time and you feel fear, maybe even the second time and third time. It's if you continuously feel fear even though you have all the knowledge and you've got experience. I think that's when there's something wrong. But I think it's human nature to feel a bit nervous the first time you do something. When you're on anchor in 35 knots, it's loud, your boat shakes. And we were looking through the anchorage and there was one really fancy ketch over there, and it was literally heeled like that at points, just on its side. That doesn't happen in 10 knots of wind. But it's fine. And now it's obviously a lovely day, so we're going to go for a hike. Highest highs and lowest lows, always. We're just about to go for the hike now, but I thought I'd quickly show you the chain situation, what we've got going up here. So here we have snubber 1, snubber 2, and as a backup we've got it round this cleat because we'd rather the cleat rip off than the windlass, and last night we needed that because, yeah, this is expensive, this is less. It was our friends Anna and Stig who we saw do that, and we thought, that's weird, why would you do that? And they were in an anchorage in La Graciosa where the waves just overnight picked up to like 2 meters. The whole boat's by the morning. We're just going crazy, so they started doing that then, and we now have followed on. So thanks Anna and Stig for your little cleat tip.
My balance, and you know, that's when the colors started to change.
Following day, we hitched a ride with our friends Stig and Anna to La Maison de Cacao. Since arriving to the island, we'd seen many cocoa pods growing on trees, and were eager to discover how they went from colourful pods to smooth chocolate. We spent the time in the gardens, seeing the different species of cocoa tree, before checking out the fermentation process. Oh, they do smell really vinegary. Yeah, this is at the next stage of fermentation. So Smells more like chocolate, a little bit like birdseed, but mostly like chocolate. And of course, getting to try some. How is it?
That's good. That reminds me of hot chocolate in the Alps.
Oh my gosh, that's so nice. We just hitchhiked back with a guy who used to coach the, he coached the French freediving team. Yeah, which is so cool, and his record freediving was 70 meters, which is insane.
After being dropped off, we took our dinghy to the tiniest marina and went to find a Carrefour supermarket. Cheap food at last. We all forgot about how small our dinghy was and went a bit crazy, so our journey back was interesting to say the least.
Oh, there's a boat with waves coming. Anna, tell him to slow down! Slow down!
So Zach is currently in the main town. I think he might be on his way back now, but he's being an absolute hero and going in to get my phone fixed and pick up a very exciting package. But I thought I'd dive on our anchor because, actually, I don't know if you can see, but we're facing out to sea. The predominant winds have been coming this way because obviously we're in the trade wind route. So I wanted just to check our anchor's dog, because when you switch 180 there's a chance it could pull out. So anyway, I've already been in the water and I didn't have the GoPro initially, but I wanted to show you how weird our anchor chain is looking right now. So yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but it's boat's there, goes down, round, and the anchor's here. So yeah, that's pretty funny, but it's just as well the winds aren't blowing higher, although it should reset, but it's really nicely dug, and it's dug exactly how it was the other day. So yeah, happy days. I think I'm going to swim to the beach now, just as a little break, but yeah, I'm going to leave the GoPro here because a bit of distance and I gotta dodge some boats, so I'm gonna bring a float with me instead of the GoPro. So we're currently on Skeg and Anna's boat, our friends on Zaganka, and we are in the other anchorage. They have driven us, we moved it to the next bay along where there's hot springs, and we're just dropping anchor but trying to avoid reef. So Zach's in the dinghy using his mask to look at the bottom. And yeah, we're just
Yeah.
He just said the water's really warm. It's kind of cool being on a different boat. See how other people do it. No. Oh yeah.
I love it here.
Oh, it's so warm. Yeah, I had my toes locked in. You would have run me over.
No, I turned it off. No way, it was in neutral.
Thanks for being here, for watching and supporting us through the courageous and nervous moments. Next time, we'll be heading further south, discovering Carnival, picking up a mooring buoy for the first time, and finding some islands that we just don't want to leave. See you then.